No method.
Be prepared to prove that. Your students just attacked a federal officer. You are in big trouble, bozo.
Au contraire. That was fun. That's part of our precision clown training. You see, every 15 seconds, Ha-Ha does a beach ball bounce. And every 18 seconds, Ho-Ho does a bullhorn blaster. I train serious, precise clowns here. That proves it.
That proves nothing. The clowns just are not that precise. This is not a legitimate operation.
See there? Right on time.
Not so fast. A beach ball and a bullhorn never thwarted a government investigation. Kindly ask your students to refrain.
Absolutely not. This is a class exercise. Every 15 seconds and every 18 seconds precisely. Right on time, see? Just like clockwork. You see? That was very, very precise.
If you can prove that you teach precision clown work, your school will not be shut down. Oh. If they are precise, you should be able to predict when they will be out here at the same time, for instance.
And I can. Look at this chart.
Well, it's a very nice chart, but it doesn't prove anything.
Oh, but it does. Note the times Ha-Ha comes in with a beach ball at 15-second intervals. Voila, you see? 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. And Ho-Ho enters with a bullhorn at 18-second interval, see? 18 seconds, 36 seconds, 54 seconds. Now, if you notice, the two clouds will appear at the same time here. 90 seconds.
Interesting.
And from then on, every 90 seconds, the two clouds will appear at the same time. 90 seconds, 180 seconds, 270 seconds. Well, that's talent.
How do I know that this chart is correct?
Well, figure it out. Here are multiples of 15. Here are multiples of 18. Do you find any common multiples?
Sure, 90 is a common multiple of 15 and 18.
Wow, they teach you these things over at the government? Makes me feel like such a...
Bozo, I'm sure. When was the last time they were here together?
The last time they were here together was 85 seconds ago.
If you are indeed teaching precision clowning, they should be in here again right about now. Well, you've proven your point.
Well, thank you.
Don't thank me. Thank mathematics. Oh, and if I were you, I'd take life more seriously. Stop clowning around.
If I were you, I'd get a pencil and a piece of paper and get ready to play a game. Go ahead, you got time.
Yes, I talked to the producers.
And what did they say about getting a laugh track machine?
They said they bought one.
Oh, that's great. You're going to see I'm going to be just as funny as those other game show hosts.
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
Well, when they plugged it in during rehearsal,
Yeah?
it heard one of your jokes.
Yeah.
And then it reached over and unplugged itself. And Now it's time for America's favorite mathematical game show. But who's counting? And here's America's favorite mathematical game show host, Monte Carlo.
Hi. Welcome to But Who's Counting? Oh, what a nice audience. How many of you came here on a bus? Great. Now, let's meet the contestants. And you are?
I'm Bella Lagosa.
And I'm Bonnie Lagosta. And you've got a lovely neck.
And where do you hail from? It's a little beachfront town in California called Malibu.
Now, let's meet your opponent. And you are?
I'm John.
And I'm Ethel. Maryborough.
And what do you do for a living?
We are the greatest actors in history.
Nice to have you with us. Now, let's meet the girl who lives next door to all our dreams, Amber Jeanette. Amber? Oh, there she is. Now, you all know how to play the game?
Yes, we do.
I'll tell you anyway. We'll choose 5 digits at random, one at a time. Your job is to place each of those digits on your scoreboard. Make one 3-digit number and one 2-digit number. When you're done, add them up, and whichever couple has the larger sum wins the prize. Remember, once you place a digit on your board,
You can't move it.
That's right. And of course, there will be a bonus prize for the largest possible sum. You folks at home, get pencil and paper ready so you can play along with us. Is everybody ready?
Yes, we are.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Great! Spin the wheel, Amber. It's a number 9. Ooh, that's a great beginning, Amber. Number 9. Three. Second digit is number 3. Great earrings, Amber. Did you make them yourself? That's a 6. That's a 6.
Glorious.
Okay. On to the 4th digit. The tension's building here, folks.
What could it be?
A 5? Yes, it's a 5. Okay, one more digit.
Spin on.
The 5th digit is a 4. A 4. Okay, couples? Add up your numbers. Now, while you're doing that, I just happen to have a fan letter here for Amber Jeanette. It says, "Dear Amber Jeanette, I'm 11 years old and I love your show. How old were you when you decided to go into show business?" 9. Okay, ready? Total, please.
Monty, we have a very delicious number.
Yes, and Monty, by the way, we love the color of your tie.
Thanks.
We have a beautiful number. It's 1017.
1017, bloody good number. And your total, please.
No, Monty. I'm afraid we've arrived at the rather paltry sum of 999.
999. Looks like the Lagosas win the game. Now, the best possible sum is 1017. Lagosas, would you show the folks at home how you came to that number?
Certainly, Monty.
See, they added 964 to 53, got 1017. Could you tell us your winning strategy?
Absolutely, Monty. First of all, stay out of the sunlight. Not now, darling. Secondly, always put the large numbers to the left. Not now, darling.
But I'm thirsty.
And the small numbers to the right.
Large numbers to the left. Well, you win first prize, Lagosas, electric tap shoes. Second prize goes to the Marybores, the Brooklyn Bridge. And, of course, the Lagosas win the bonus prize, an inflatable cow. Well, that's all we have time for today. So bye-bye from...
Who's counting?
Come on. Oh, there you are.
will I do?
Honey, I'm home. Oh, now what are you doing? Mwah. Shouldn't you be getting ready for the party?
Well, I am, dear. I'm just trying to figure out how many hors d'oeuvres to serve tonight. I want to make sure that each guest gets an equal amount with no leftovers.
Huh. Everybody gets an equal amount. Oh, I've got it. All we have to do is figure out the number of guests that are coming to the party and then multiply that number times the number...
But we're not sure how many are coming. We may get 12, 16, or 24. Not sure.
Really? Well, we've got the strangest friends. Well, never you mind. I'm going to get a piece of paper, and we'll figure out exactly how much food we need to give 12, 16, or 24 people equal amounts of food with none left over. How's that, honey? Joan? Joan, you're not thinking of calling...
Yes, common multiple man. Years ago, while working for a midtown mathematical conglomerate known simply as Math and Brew, an accountant named Norman Redundant was involved in a freak accident.
Oh!
Norman was transformed from this to this. Common multiple man. He was endowed with the ability to determine instantly the common multiples of any two or more whole numbers.
I am a superhero.
In a dumb suit.
With a pretty nutty superpower. Well, you go with what you've got. I'm sorry I took so long.
Can't you fly or anything?
I couldn't even get a cab. But have no fear, for common multiple man is here.
Yes, I see. All right, well, we're having a party. And we are going to have 12, 16, or 24 guests. We're not sure.
Uh-huh.
But we do know that we want each guest to get the same amount of hors d'oeuvres with none left over and...
48. You need either 48, 96, or 240.
How did he do that?
Oh.
Super.
Yes, well, it's something which
Dear, it's very, very easy. Look, all you have to do is take the possible number of guests. 12, 16, or 24. You find their multiples, then you find the common multiple.
Absolutely. That's the first step.
For example, here's one. 48. All right, and here's another one. 96. Now, you pick one of the common multiples, you buy that amount of hors d'oeuvres, and everyone will get an equal share.
Correct. But
For example, let's say you picked 48. And 16 guests showed up. Each guest would get 3 hors d'oeuvres. If 24 guests showed up, each guest would get 2 hors d'oeuvres. And if 12 guests showed up, each one would get 4 hors d'oeuvres. You see?
Yes, absolutely. But most people
All
would...
because of common multiples. Equal shares, none left over.
Yes, but when I did it instantly and with a funny sound. And you did not.
Fine. That's fascinating. Excellent. Very strange costume.
Hey, it won't come off, okay?
Well, thanks for stopping by, common multiple man. We'd love to have you stay, but we've already solved the hors d'oeuvres problem, and...
I can find a common multiple for any set of numbers. It's a gift.
I'm sure you can. Well, bye.
Most people cannot do this. It's
Joan, we could have done this ourselves. Anyone can.
Yes, anyone can do it, but you see when I'm
he knows. Well, bye.
Oh, great.
Join us soon
Hey,
for the
you
further
guys.
adventures of
My cape. My
common
cape.
multiple
Open
man.
the door. You guys.
I dived in Stanley O2. Did a horrid backflip that the judges scored fifth. The worst ever seen at a pool. Well, the spectators let out a roar, but Stanley had more thrills in store. His next start was poorer, cause such a purer. They gave him a negative score. He got less than zero, less than zero. The scores was running in reverse. less than zero. He's an anti-hero.
Watch me go from bad to worse.
At a dance contest down by the shore, Stan tripped and fell on the floor. The judge cried, P.U., you get -2. Said Stan with a grin,
Less is more.
he got less than zero, less than zero. He's a negative guy. Less than zero, he's an anti-hero.
Worse than nothing is my battle cry.
When he skated for the roses at the roller rink, the judges held their noses and said, Stan, you stink, you're so bad, we gotta give you a sub-zero score. It added up to -24. Stan entered a hammer throw meet, set a record that no one will beat. He threw it behind him, the score they assigned him was -55 feet. He got less than zero, less than zero. No ifs and no ands and no buts. Less than zero, he's an anti-hero.
I'm a certified nationwide klutz.
Yeah.
I'm a certified nationwide klutz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Square One TV represents 100%, and this much of the show is over, how much is left? Think about it.
And now, a word from some bigwig at Square One TV.
Hello. Here at Square One TV, we're always asking questions. Is it raining? Where's the mustard? Say, who left the lights on? And while these are important questions, the really big question is Square One TV popular? Do people watch it? Is it exciting? Recently, we dared to ask the really big question, and that is, which is greater? The number of people who watch Square One TV or the number of people who eat rutabagas? Tonight, we have the answer to that question. The information is presented in this double bar graph. The number of people who eat rutabagas is represented by the blue bars. The number of people who watch Square One TV is represented by the red bars. This allows us to compare at a glance the numbers. As you can see, in May, we were soundly trounced by the rutabaga eaters. Square One TV was a new show, and not many people had heard about us. As a result, about 5 million people chose to eat a rutabaga rather than switch the channel to us. However, in August, the picture brightened. The word of mouth had spread, and the number of people watching Square One TV had doubled. Normally, we would have been overjoyed. However, this was the height of the rutabaga season, when they are particularly plump and sweet. And so once again, we were demolished by the competition. However, in November, the story did change. The early frost completely wiped out the rutabaga crop, reducing rutabaga consumption to almost zero. We, on the other hand, programmed some of our funniest shows in November, resulting in a decisive victory for Square One TV. We believe that this double bar graph shows that Square One TV beat the competition fair and square in the month of November. And we will continue to remain on top, bringing you fun and exciting programs that are at least as interesting as eating some old vegetable. Thank you, and good night.
The story you are about to see is a fib, but it's short. The names are made up, but the problems are real.
It was Monday, 9:43 a.m., and the layer of smog blanketing the Los Angeles basin was so thick you could cut it with a cliche. My partner is George Franklin. The boss is Thad Green. My name is Monday. I'm a mathematician. George and I had just come off the case of the hidden baffles, in which a case of baffles had been hidden. It was a baffling case, one which I'll tell you about sometime, but not today. Today, I hoped, would be quiet. Good morning, George. George.
MathNet, frankly.
Good morning, George.
Good morning, Kate. Coming in this morning?
Uh-huh. See you, George.
You bet.
Don't ask. Anything going on, George?
Nope. I was saying that to Martha just last night. Not much going on at the shop, I said to her.
Uh-huh.
I try not to take my work home, Kate. Sometimes a fellow has to just spill it.
It's a good idea not to hold it in.
Will that be you again, Kate? On the phone, I mean? MathNet, frankly. Really? What's the location? We'll be right out. Afraid I was wrong when I said nothing was going on.
What was that call about?
Somebody just stole a dump truck full of dirt.
Dirt?
Yeah, dirt. I told them we'd be right out. It's a truck stop in Eagle Rock.
Let's roll. Morning, sir. I'm Monday. This is my partner, George.
Frankly,
MathNet.
Hi, I'm Ernie.
Got a last name, Ernie?
Sure.
Good.
You reported your truck was stolen?
Yeah, and I feel pretty silly now.
Oh?
Yeah, you see, this is my truck.
What makes you think it's stolen?
Well, it's not anymore. You see, I stopped by for a cup of mud and a couple of sinkers.
A what?
Sorry, that's truck driver talk for a cup of coffee and 2 donuts. Anyway, I was in there for about 35 minutes. When I came out of the diner, my truck was gone. I went back in and called you two. When I came out again about 10 minutes later, she was back.
She?
Yeah, my truck.
How can you tell a girl truck from a boy truck?
Girl trucks usually wear more chrome. Anyway, I'm sorry to have bothered you.
No problem. George, let's get back to headquarters.
Yes. I'll tell them as soon as they come in.
Morning, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. I just took a message for you, MathNetters. Somebody just swiped a dump truck full of dirt at Mom's truck stop and go.
We know. We just checked it out. The truck was returned.
The call just came in?
Just this minute. Driver named Gussie Bicep. Said she stopped for some mud and a couple of sinkers.
George, it's another one. This is getting to be an epidemic. Thanks, Debbie. George?
I know. Let's roll.
Yes, I'm Gussie Bicep.
And you're sure the truck was actually missing?
Yes, ma'am, it was gone.
Are you positive this is your truck?
Of course I'm positive.
Is it a boy or a girl?
What?
You came out, the truck was gone. You went back inside and called us?
Yes, ma'am, that's the truth. And then when I come back out here about 5 minutes ago, the truck was back.
Okay, well, I guess we can't be of any help.
Sorry to have bothered you folks.
That's all right. We get mileage.
I thought Ernie was making a mistake when he thought his truck was gone, but it's unlikely they both would have been wrong. Know what I mean, George? George, what are you reading?
What's your sign, Kate?
My sign?
You know, your astrological sign. When were you born?
October 6th.
Libra. The scales. Balance. Here's your horoscope for today.
George, you don't really believe in those things.
No, they're just fun. It says, be careful in money matters. Neither a borrower nor a lender be. If life doesn't make sense, that's just the way things are sometimes.
Well, that certainly seems to be true.
Know what mine says? My chart, I mean?
Uh-uh.
Try to be a nice person, but watch out for a grizzly who might want to obliterate your name on a present.
What is that supposed to mean?
I'm not sure. Oh.
What?
Beware of bears greeting gifts.
MathNet, Monday. What, again? All right, we'll be right down.
Another dump truck disappearance?
Yep.
We ought to get a part-time job at that diner.
Yeah, let's roll. And when you came back out...
The truck was back.
How'd you know that?
Lucky guess.
cup of mud, Kate?
I thought you'd never ask.
You know, Kate, maybe it's not a crime we're trying to solve.
What do you mean?
Maybe it's a prank. You know, somebody just fooling around like kids on Halloween. Ringing doorbells, soaping windows, extortion. Pranks like that.
What makes you say that, George?
Because nothing is missing from any of the trucks. One of the first things people learn when they go into the robbery business is to take something. Otherwise, there's no robbery.
But, George, something is missing.
What is missing?
The dirt. Someone is stealing the dirt.
Paul Revere, I'll talk.
Well, the messenger said he was fleeing the British. He was going to cross Delaware River and save the Continental Army.
Isn't that romantic? A midnight boat ride.
You probably wouldn't recognize me in this getup, but I'm...
George Franklin, a math net. How are you?
100% of Square One TV is a production of the Children's Television Workshop. This program was made possible by grant.
That's our long row. Now, when you chose the number last time, you chose 5. Just for demonstration, let me show you it can be done with any number. Let's suppose this time you said 4.
Okay.
I would ask you to remove 4 coins from that longer row.
Uh-huh.
I then have an equal number plus this group, which is 1 less than the original number. You see? I then got you to remove an equal number from the other 2 rows, and the answer will be 1 less than the original number that you picked.
Every time?
Every time. You try it yourself.
Is that magic?
That's mathematics.
He's got the answer.
Excuse me, Mr. Blackstone, there's, well, could you please turn the snakes back into canes?
That's
The hazards of magic.
I read about that in a
Let's
book
try
once, I
this.
think.
This is so neat.
Odd. Odd. Even. Odd. Even. 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 That's odd.
This program contains ideas. If you're not used to viewing programs with ideas, the management is not surprised, but nevertheless, the fact remains, this program contains ideas.
Jenny called me on a Monday, and that was great. We stayed up talking till very late. I called her Tuesday to make our plans for next month's softball springtime dance. Jenny called me Wednesday, she was at the mall. But I was on my way out to play basketball.
Man, you can't play basketball.
I scored 3 home runs.
3 home runs?
I called Jenny Thursday. Yeah, I called Jenny Friday. Saturday, the telephone rang and my mom said, Jenny, it's Jenny again. I called her on Sunday to see what to take on a picnic later down at Goodman's Lake. Jenny called me Monday. We had a super talk. Then I went over to her house. We took the dog for a walk.
Wait a minute, Jimmy. Jenny doesn't have a dog.
No, but she's got a leash.
I called Jenny Tuesday. I called Jenny Wednesday. Called me Thursday. We talked for a year. My dad said,
James, is that phone glued to your ear?
today is Friday. I thought the phone would ring. I thought Jenny would call me about that math club thing, but she hasn't called me, and I'm a little upset. Well, it's only 8, and well, the day's not over yet. Yeah.
Stop! Do you see a pattern here? Try to find a pattern here. Look for a pattern.
story you are about to see is a fib, but it's short. The names are made up, but the problems are real.
2:43 p.m. and absolutely gorgeous in San Francisco for that time of day, but we were working the day watch out of Mathnet in Los Angeles. My partner is George Frankley. The boss is Thad Green. My name is Monday. I'm a mathematician. We were working on the case of the missing dirt, a case involving the disappearance and reappearance of 3 dump trucks. When they were stolen, they were full of dirt. When they were returned, they were empty. We decided to look at a scene from yesterday's show to see if we had missed a clue.
You know, Kate, maybe it's not a crime we're trying to solve.
What do you mean?
Maybe it's a prank. You know, somebody just fooling around like kids on Halloween. Ringing doorbells, soaping windows, extortion. Pranks like that.
What makes you say that, George?
Because nothing is missing from any of the trucks. One of the first things people learn when they go into the robbery business is to take something. Otherwise, there's no robbery.
But, George, something is missing.
What is missing?
The dirt. Someone is stealing the dirt. I remembered something else George said yesterday after having been called to the scene of 3 phony dump truck thefts within 4 hours. He said, maybe we should get part-time jobs here. And that's exactly what we did. With Steve and Sam posing as truck drivers, George and I took jobs as cook and counterman. We figured when the next dump truck load of dirt was stolen, we'd be on the scene to nab the perpetrator.
That's it. Pig in a blanket.
What?
Ham sandwich, Kate. You get it? Pig in a blanket.
Uh-huh.
I like an onion with that, if you'd be so kind.
Pin a rose on it.
Hey, Bud.
Me?
What's the story with this bill? I bought a hamburger that your menu clearly says costs $3.
Yes, sir. That's one of our best sellers.
So what's this total?
That's right, $3.20.
What's the 20 cents for?
Tax.
I didn't have tax on my burger, just ketchup.
You know, the money that goes to help support our governments.
It doesn't say anything about tax on the menu.
Sales tax is 6.5%.
Uh-huh.
To find how much the tax amounts to, we have to find 6.5% of $3. To do that, we multiply $3 times 0.065, and we get 0.195. That's 19.5 cents. Round that up to 20 cents, and we get, see? $3.20.
Well, thank you for the arithmetic lesson. And here's your $3.20.
No tip?
Order up, George!
Cup of mud with that?
No. I'd rather have a cup of coffee.
We had been working at the stakeout for 2 days, and not one other truck had been stolen. Maybe we were taking the wrong approach to this problem.
Well, you probably wouldn't recognize me in this getup, but I'm...
George Frankley, a Mathnet. How are you?
Fine, Gussie. Any more trouble with your truck?
Not a lick.
Gussie, was there anything special about that dirt you were hauling?
No, it was just, you know, dirt.
Hi, Gussie.
Hey, Ernie.
Hey, Mr. Frankley.
You two know each other?
Sure, we're working the same job.
Chef, can I see you for a moment?
Yep.
So you two are working for the same company?
Yep.
Hey, guys, what's up? Your trucks aren't missing again.
No.
But they're working the same job.
And the third driver, too?
Barney? Yeah, they swapped his truck, too.
Where are you working?
Corner Parkwood and Valley View in Glendale. We're hauling from an excavation, taking the dirt out to Canyon Country and coming on back for more.
How long you been working there?
About a week.
Worth looking into. Come on, George. Let's roll.
Sure thing, Kate. Help yourselves to the mud.
Thanks for taking the time, Mr. Rourke.
Oh, not at all. Always happy to cooperate with the mathematician.
When 3 of your trucks were borrowed yesterday, the loads of dirt they were carrying were stolen.
Can you beat it? I've been in the building business, man and boy, and I've never heard of anything so strange.
Anything special about this soil?
No, I don't think so.
I noticed the numbers of the trucks that were taken were 2, 6, and 10. Does that suggest any kind of pattern that might be helpful in figuring this problem out?
2, 6, and 10. There's a difference of 4 between the truck numbers.
Well, over here. We've divided the excavation into 4 quadrants. A, B, C, and D. I'm using 12 trucks to load from the site.
Uh-huh.
To facilitate speed in loading, truck number 1 is loaded from here, truck number 2 from quadrant B, truck number 3 from C quadrant, etc.
Then what we find is... May I?
Kate, there is a pattern here.
Right. What we find is the trucks that were stolen, numbers 2, 6, and 10, were all carrying dirt from the same quadrant, quadrant B.
Guess you're right. I never thought of that before. I don't think there's anything so special about any of this dirt. Well, take a look if you like. Come on, help us out.
Thank you. We brought a soil sample back to the lab where Debbie Williams analyzed it.
I've broken it down, mathematicians. Look at the charts.
What did you find? Gold ore? Uranium? Traces of crude oil?
Dirt.
Dirt?
Dirt. Nothing very unusual. It's got the normal mixture of organic and mineral matter, but nothing out of the ordinary. It has a slightly lower than average pH. It's at about a 5. 7 is normal. But that means that the soil is a little more acidic. But that's not unusual for this area.
Did you check it against the samples from the other 3 quadrants, Debbie?
Sure. It's the same.
Why would anybody steal truckloads of dirt?
Beats me.
Maybe he just digs dirt.
Math Monday. Oh, hello, Mr. Warwick. Thank you very much for returning my call. I was wondering if you could tell us how fast those dump trucks can go. 45 miles per hour? Thank you very much, sir. Let's try and figure out how far those trucks went.
Why, Kate?
They had to dump the dirt and get the trucks back to the truck stop. If we could figure out where they dumped the dirt, maybe we could shed some light on this puzzle.
We know the 3 drivers all stopped at the same place, and they all took a break of about 45 minutes.
But let's say the thief only had about 35 or 40 minutes in which to use the truck and dump the dirt.
Okay, but they could have driven no more than 20 minutes one way because they had to come back.
And Rourke said the truck could go 45 miles an hour.
45 miles in 60 minutes.
But they could only go 20 minutes each way.
20 is what fraction of 60 minutes?
20 is 1/3 of 60. So if the truck could go 45 miles in 1 hour, it can only go 1/3 that far in 20 minutes.
So figure 1/3 of 45 miles.
15 miles. Borrow your map, Debbie?
First, let's look at the scale. On this map, 1 inch represents 1 mile. So 15 inches would be 15 miles. Here's where the trucks were taken.
So set the compass radius at 15 inches, and that'll show us where he might have dumped the dirt.
We don't know it was a he.
Good point.
Well, he or she wouldn't have dumped it on the freeway or in downtown Glendale, or we would have heard about it.
They may have dumped it somewhere up here.
Abandoned gravel pits.
Gravel pits. They could have dumped it there and no one would ever notice. Let's get out there. After searching the abandoned gravel pit to no avail, we finally spotted something unusual. We decided to take a closer look.
What do you make of it, Kate?
Someone was digging here.
It's as though they were looking for something.
What if the dirt isn't valuable?
Uh-huh.
What if something that is valuable was buried in the dirt?
Allow me to demonstrate the problem, Mr. Bland. Stand. Now, Mr. Bland, you see, 17 is a prime number.
A prime number?
That is that it has only 2 factors, itself and 1.
Itself and 1.
So sorry. So I'm afraid that if we were to design for you a perfectly rectangular window...
A perfectly rectangular window.
allow me, Mr. Bland, it might be safer over here.
Yes.
Well, the only way that we could do so would be by lining up your 17 panes of glass side by side or up and down. Now, a rectangle you would have, but alas, you would have a very limited view. I think we may have just found the solution.
Great flick, huh? Well, it's time to play Dialing for Factors. Do you know what the solution is? Remember, today's number is 84. Now, if you're lucky and I give you a call, you're going to have to tell me what today's number is and all of its prime factors. Well, let's give it a whirl.
Shea Stadium pitches, Merrill.
Hi, Shirley Schlemmer, Dialing for Factors. Do you know what today's number is and all of its prime factors?
Are you kidding, lady? I'm playing against a team that's got the bases loaded and the top of their lineup stepping up to bat. Get off the phone.
Sorry. Well, let's try again.
At the tone, the time will be 12:31 and 6 seconds.
Wrong number, I guess. Well, let's give it one more try. Ringing once. Ringing twice.
Hello?
Hello, Shirley Schlemmer, Dialing for Factors. Do you know what today's number is?
Sure, Shirley. It's 84, same as my bowling average.
Way to go! What's your name, son?
Fred Filbert.
Well, Freddie, can you tell me what the prime factors of 84 are?
Well, let's see. 84 is even, so 2's a factor. 2 times 42 is 84, and 42 is even, so 2's a factor again. 42 is 2 times 21. Well, 21 isn't even. 21 is 3 times 7, and 3 and 7 are primes. So the prime factors of 84 are 2, 3, and 7.
Congratulations! You just won a free copy of my latest book, I'm Okay, You're Beneath Contempt.
Is that all?
Well, now, back to Mr. Bland builds his dream house.
Andy, can't you see that the gentleman doesn't like us?
How could you be so careless?
Mr. Bland, I apologize for my colleague, and I assure you that we will make full restitution for the damage. But in a way, Stanley may have done us a favor.
That's right. What favor?
Yes, what favor?
Well, now we've got 16 panes of glass.
I'll get back to work.
Yes. Well, you see, Mr. Bland, 16 has several factors as opposed to 17, a prime number, which has a mere 2. 2 8s make 16, as do 8 2s. 4 4s also make 16. Therefore, Mr. Bland, we can give you 3 options. We can give you a window that's 2 panes high and 8 panes wide. Or we can give you a window that's 8 panes high and 2 panes wide. Or we can give you a perfect square, 4 panes by 4 panes.
4 by 4? That sounds lovely. There's a certain ring to it, I must say.
Very good. We'll get to work on it post-haste. Stanley? Now that I think of it, 3 panes by 5 panes would be even prettier. Yes. 3 by 4 is nice. And there's a lot to be said for fresh air. Connecticut can be so invigorating this time of year. There's another fine mess you've gotten us into.
Another fine mess? That's it. My new slogan for the Ajax Garbage Company. Another fine mess from Ajax. You two are geniuses. Be careful not to cut yourselves on the glass. Ta-ta.
Well, that's the end of another great film on Matinee Movie. Don't forget to join us next time when our feature attraction will be the 5 moons of planet Orlon.
just in. This just out. Oh, something else is in here. This is just in. A prime number has exactly two factors. Take 17. Its factors are 17 and 1. Film at 11. It's also a prime number. Whee!
Just think. This much of the show is gone, leaving this much to come. So, let it come.
Hello, Bureau of Missing Numbers, Terry Ryan speaking. A number's missing? Which one is it, sir? Number 9, all right. Now, can you tell me a little bit about it? You know, any unusual characteristics, any bad habits, anything at all? All right, is it a prime number? Let's see. No, it definitely is not a prime number. It is, however, a multiple of 3. Hold the phone a second, something just occurred to me. 9 is also a square number. What's that? Well, of course my lips are sealed. What? 9 is an odd number. No kidding. It certainly is. You know, all this information is very, very useful. Now, can you think of anything else at all? Anything? Wow, really? No kidding. Let's see. You're absolutely right. 9 is 1 more than a multiple of 4. That's right. 8 plus 1 is 9. Rest assured, sir, I'll bring back that little number 9, or my name isn't... Hello? Hello? Emotions.
Terry Ryan was off in search of the missing number 9, a search that could put her life in jeopardy. In a moment, the results of that search. The missing number 9 was found, standing on its head, insisting it was a 6. It was returned to its rightful place in society between the 8 and the 10. And so Terry Ryan stamped closed on another missing number file.
Thank y'all, thank you. Well, I'd like to welcome you here to Tillis tonight, and we hope you're having a real good time. For our next little thing we're going to do for you, it's a little number that was a real big hit for us. It's called 9, and well, we hope you like it. 5, 6, 7, 8. 999, fantastic number 9. It's perfectly consistent. It works out every time. 999, that crazy number 9. Times any number you can find, it all comes back to 9. 2 times 9 is 18. 8 and 1 is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. 7 and 2 is 9. 4 times 9 is 36. 6 and 3 is 9. 5 times 9 is 45. 5 and 4 is 9. 6 times 9 is 54. 5 and 4 is 9. 7 times 9 is 63. 6 and 3 is 9. 8 times 9 is 72. 7 and 2 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. 8 and 1 is 9. 999, fantastic number 9. It's perfectly consistent. It works out every time. 999, that crazy number 9. Times any number you can find, it all comes back to 9. 9 times 10 is 90. Just drop the 0 sign. 9 times 11 is 99. Makes me rhyme with another line. Then 9 and 9 is 18. And 8 and 1 is 9. Times any number you can find, it all comes back to 9.
Does this work with bigger numbers, too?
Yep.
Let's try this. 3,487.
9 times 3,487 is 31,383. 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 8 plus 3 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. It always works. 999, fantastic number 9. It's perfectly consistent, and it works out every time. 999, that crazy number 9. Times any number you can find, it all comes back to 9. It all comes back to 9. It all comes back to 9. Yes, sir. Ah, sir.
And now,
Now it's time for one of America's newest game shows, But Who's Adding? And here is the host who loves numbers the most, Larry Cedar.
How you doing out there? How are you out here in the audience? All right. You out there in Addition Land, welcome to But Who's Adding? We have a very good show for you today, and we have two great contestants who are going to play. So let's give them a big hand. Bring them on up. All right. Now, let's see. Playing blue today is?
Felicia.
Felicia, how are you doing?
Good.
Are you ready to play? All right. Playing red today is?
John.
And how are you?
Good.
Good. You got your teammates ready to play, applaud for you? Yeah, you too? You guys all set to cheer for them? Yeah! All right, let's check out the rules. This is the big board. Now, the object of the game is to cover 3 squares in a row with your color, either horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. Now, the numbers on the big board represent the sum you get when you add 2 numbers from the addend board together. For example, if there's a ring on the 4 and there's a ring on the 5, what number can you cover?
9.
9, right, just like that. Now, the player who goes first will move both rings and announce their sum. After that, the next player can move only their color ring, and they've got 10 seconds to do it. They can move it anywhere on the addend board. If you don't do it in 10 seconds, you'll hear this. Right, that means you ran out of time. Also, if you call out the wrong sum or you call out a sum that's already been covered on the board, you will hear this, which means you made a mistake. If you run out of time or you make a mistake, that means you lose your turn and your opponent gets to move both rings, so be real careful about that. Now, the first player to win 2 rounds wins the game. Red will go first. Are you guys all set to cheer him on? Yeah! All right, red, go. 9 red. 10 blue. Oh, wrong color. 7 red. 3 blue. 2 red. Oh, what a sensational. All right. Michael, you won the first one. Felicia, you get to start the next round because you lost. Ready? Clear the board. Now, you're going to go next, and the next person who wins, you could either tie it up, Felicia, or, Michael, you could win it if you win the next one. The board is almost clear, and there we go. Blue, go.
8.
8 blue. 10 red. 6 blue. 3 red. 12 blue. 17 red. 5 seconds. 11 blue. Oh! Excellent. All right, way to cheer them on, you guys. We have a tie game. This is sensational. Each of you has 1 round. Michael, you lost the round, so you get to go first. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry, John. I was thinking of my brother. Okay, John, you get to go first, and board is clear. Red, go. 9 red. 11 blue. 7 red. 6 blue. 12 red. Good block. 5 seconds. 15 blue. 5 seconds. 13 red. 5 seconds. 8 blue. 3 red. I gotta tell you, you guys did a great job cheering them on. That was a very, very close match. Congratulations, John, on a good game. And you too, Felicia. John, for winning, you get a Square One TV calculator. There you go. And Felicia, for doing such an excellent job, we're gonna give you a Square One TV t-shirt. I hope you enjoy that. You guys played a great game. You were a sensational audience. Way to go. We'll see you next time on But Who's Adding? Bye-bye.
The story you are about to see is a fib, but it's short. The names are made up, but the problems are real.
9:43 a.m. and cool in Los Angeles. Very cool. We were working the day watch out of MathNet. My partner is George Franklin. The boss is Thad Green. The capital of North Dakota is Bismarck. My name is Monday. I'm a mathematician. We were working on the problem of the missing dirt and had come up with some interesting twists. While trying to find out what was important about 3 dump truckloads of dirt which had been stolen, we learned that the dirt had once belonged to Merle Fish, a man who was in prison for pulling off one of the most spectacular robberies in the annals of crime, the Finks armored car caper in which he stole $1 million. The money was never recovered. When you're dealing with a complicated problem, it's a good idea to review your facts and hypotheses. We decided to do just that by looking at a couple of scenes from yesterday's show.
Thank you, sir.
George, how'd you make out? Did you talk to the warden?
Yes, I did, Kate.
Can we see Merle Fish?
Afraid not. The warden's a powerful man, but he's not that powerful.
What do you mean?
Merle Fish died in prison 6 days ago.
Morning, George.
Morning, Kate.
I read the book about the Finks case last night, George.
Did you, Kate? I tubed out. You know, watch television.
Uh-huh.
Watched a rerun of Dragnet. You know, with Jack Webb.
Uh-huh.
Golly, that was a good show.
According to the author Norman Mailbag, Merle Fish had an accomplice.
Someone helped him pull off the robbery?
Uh-huh. I checked through the police records this morning, and the general consensus is that the accomplice took the money and left the country.
Bet he's having a good time. Spending his ill-gotten gains, I mean.
Hi, team. I've got a couple of things that might interest you.
Shoot.
To begin with, the Finks people do have the serial numbers of those stolen bills.
Well, that would mean if the robber spent any of the money, the numbers on the bills could be checked and he would get caught.
Right.
What else have you got, Debbie?
I checked the prison records to see what I could find out about Merle Fish.
And?
He was a strange con. He became a recluse, hardly ever spoke to anyone, not prison officials, guards, not even his fellow inmates. And in 21 years, had only one person visit him.
One person?
Yes, a fellow by the name of Norman Mailbag.
He's the man that wrote the book about the Finks case.
Probably visited Fish to get the facts.
Yes, but he continued to visit him long after the book was published. In fact, he saw him just 10 days ago.
I don't know why exactly, and maybe he has nothing to do with the missing dirt. But I think we should talk to Mr. Mailbag.
I thought you might. Here's his address.
I'm out back. Come on around.
Mr. Mailbag, I'm Kate Monday. This is my partner, George.
Frankly, Mathnet.
What can I do for you?
We know you wrote the famous book about the Finks caper,
Yes, I did.
and that you probably know more about the case than anyone else.
I'm sure I do.
Now, we understand that you kept in touch with Merle Fish long after your book was published.
Oh, yes, Merle and I became quite close during the interviews that I had with him when I was writing the book.
I see.
He was a lonely man, and I tried to cheer him up from time to time.
I wonder, in all the years that you knew him, Mr. Mailbag, did he ever tell you what happened to the money?
You didn't read my book.
I haven't got to it yet. You know how your reading mounts up?
But I did.
Well, then you know what really happened to the money. Fish told me the absolute truth, just the way I wrote it.
According to your book, he had an accomplice.
That's what the police said. And that's what Merle Fish said. And when Fish was arrested, the accomplice took the money and left the country.
But if the serial numbers were known, why hasn't any of the money shown up?
European banks and South American banks aren't as interested in tracing American dollars as American banks are. No, I'm sure whoever the accomplice was had a wonderful time with that $1 million somewhere. Now, if you will excuse me.
One other thing, Mr. Mailbag. You said that Merle Fish told you everything about the Finks case?
Yes, and that's why my book has become the definitive treatise on the case.
Who was Fish's accomplice?
Well, I have to admit that that is one thing that he never did reveal.
Going on a trip, Mr. Mailbag?
Yes, yes. Time for a short vacation.
Well, if you would excuse me.
Thank you for your help, sir.
I got a strange feeling about Mailbag, didn't you?
A little bit, yeah. He's pretty slick.
You know what Scott Fitzgerald said about writers, don't you?
What?
He said, all writers are liars, which is why what they write is called fiction.
That was William Faulkner, but you made your point.
Math netters, I got something for you. I analyzed the soil from Mailbag shoes.
And?
There were two types. The predominant soil was a very rich humus, like the kind gardeners plant things in.
That would figure.
But there were also large traces with the same acidic components as the stolen dirt.
Good. I noticed the footprints Mailbag shoes were making, and they look like the ones we saw at the gravel pit.
It's a long shot, George.
Something else, folks. Guess what Merrill Fish did the day after the heist?
Went to prison.
Nope. They didn't catch him until about a month later. The day after the robbery, he took out a building permit.
A building permit for what?
To build a carport.
That's right. In Tuesday's show, Mrs. Swaggle mentioned the house had a carport.
So?
So what?
That's right. So what? What if he built a carport? That's no crime, especially if he had a building permit.
That's true, but it is a pretty strange thing to do right after you've come into 1 million simoleons. You know, dollars.
Wait a minute. What if the accomplice theory is wrong?
About the robbery?
Yes. What if he didn't have an accomplice? He robbed the armored truck and took the money home. He figured they'd have a record of the loot, so he knew he couldn't spend it.
What if he intended to keep it until the statute of limitations expired? That's 3 years. That means if no one is convicted of the crime in that time, the case is closed.
And what if he buried the money under the carport and figured to spend it all later?
It's an interesting theory, but it's still just a theory.
And it's a long way from 3 dump truck loads of dirt.
But wait a minute. If we figure this out, somebody else could have figured it out too.
What might your wish be?
Fleet, I would like to know the amazing story of Nines.
What's your point?
Remember Mailbag said he was going on a short vacation?
Uh-huh.
And did you notice what Mailbag was taking on his short vacation?
100% of Square One TV is a production of the Children's Television Workshop. This program was made possible by grants from the National Science Foundation, the U.S. Department of Education, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation, and the Carnegie Corporation of New York.
Corporate funding is provided by IBM. At IBM, we believe education is the key to the future. We are pleased to help support Square One TV as an innovative way to introduce young people to the exciting world of mathematics.
I'm Marty Stauffer. What bird has an upside-down brain, ears in front of its eyes, and is the world's slowest flyer? Find out in Timber Doodles of Moosehorn. The whimsical woodcock finds refuge along the coast of Maine, where you'll see its fascinating life story on Wild America.
See it right here at 8 this Thursday evening.
On the wonderful world of Disney.
Was it electricity?
Was it electricity? A courageous mouse rewrites history.
Poor Richard's almanac. Poor indeed. What would you suggest?
The unforgettable Ben and Me. Then, the most hair-raising hunt of them all. In the legendary tale of Peter and the Wolf on the wonderful world of Disney.
The Wonderful World of Disney, Friday evening at 7. Public Television, WITF-TV, Harrisburg.
All people everywhere need food and a place to live. But the ways in which they go about getting these things can be very different. For instance, some people can grow their own food, even build their own houses. I guess you'd say these people are pretty independent. Others have to buy their food and buy or rent their houses or apartments. Now, those people have become dependent on others to make or grow the things that are needed. I guess I'm like most North Americans. I work at a job, so I'll have the money to pay others for food and shelter. But I know other people in other cultures who go about meeting these basic needs in many different ways.
In the Ivory Coast, farmers can make money by growing cash crops. Kwakwame grows cocoa to sell to his government, which in turn sells the cocoa abroad. The cocoa beans can be sold raw or in altered forms. In 1982, the United States imported $33 million worth of cocoa butter and cocoa powder from the Ivory Coast. A small amount of that money eventually found its way back to Kwakwame. He doesn't have many monthly expenses except for the boarding costs of his son's junior high school. The bananas he grows among the cocoa plants are for his family and his village. His most important family food crop